What up, everybody? This is Ken, back at it again, just recording that second video I said I was going to record. I've actually posted up the first one. Hopefully, you guys have a chance to watch that. I'm now going to be going over some of the comments from the other post from the other days, real quick, and just kind of giving my thoughts. So, the last time I was on, I went over these two questions right here, the whole feminine and masculine energy thing, and the whole um, if a provider male is paying for your stuff, would you marry him or not? Okay, so let's go over to the next two or three questions I have. Now, um, this one is asking, another question to the beautiful ladies. This is also for the high value men. What do you want out of marriage? And I'm just going to go through each answer and then just kind of give my take on the stuff. Anyway, so Carrie is the person I'm known for roughly, let's see what I got to know Carrie, about what, 15, 16? So roughly about 15 years now. She says she wants commitment, companionship, support, someone to share my life with, and the ups and downs. All right. And then um, Laura says she wants a team effort. Same goes to reach for us, understanding when one is up or one is down, to be there for both. Compromise that benefits both. Communication, always with everything. Say what you mean. And let me see. Mean what you say, do what you say. You're going to do, both parties on that. Uh, and for the most part, I agree with what both of them have said. Again, I'll give kind of my overall thing and answer to this um, at the end, and I'm just gonna. Anyway, let me get through this, and then I'll get to what I want to get to. Okay, awesome. So we have here. Greg says, and I've known Greg for about the same time I've known Carrie, so about 14, 15 years now. Greg says, the other half of me, in which I just asked him, okay, well, what does that really mean? Um, and then he said to somebody to compensate for his deficiencies. And again, I was just like, okay, well, what are those deficiencies? Because I'm just trying to get more of an accurate answer of what exactly he was wanting in marriage. And one of the things that I think I'm kind of coming um, to realize is that a lot of people actually don't really put in any thought to what they want from marriage. They put in, they go into marriage with like generalized ideas of what should be wanted out of marriage. Hopefully, I'm making sense with that. So they're not actually going into a marriage and going into it for what they truly want. They're just going into that marriage because they're supposed to be married, and these are the things that are supposed to come with marriage. That are just generalizations. Hopefully, that makes sense with that. Anyway, so he says, well, when I started dating, I was 14, so I'm not sure it was a conscious thing. I'm not sure uh, what a well when we started. Oh, so he's been dating his wife since he was 14, since he was in high school. So not sure what a common deficiency would be. Have to give that some thought. I never really got another answer from him or anything on that, so I'm assuming that he pondered that. Anyway, Sarah Allison chimed in. She's the sister to Carrie. So again, same time frame as long as I've known her. She says, "I'm sure Tammy could think of plenty of Greg's deficiencies. Maybe ask her." Um, I didn't ask Tammy because I don't think I have Tammy on here, and I don't really have that much of a. I'm not friends with her like that, so I don't want to just ask Greg's wife. Whatever, I would just ask him. I really wouldn't ask anybody in specific, just because I'm trying to stay away from doing that. I don't want to target any individual. That's why I'm leaving these questions open the way they are, and I feel like if you gravitate to them and answer them, great. Anyway, so she just said, when I come to think of common deficiencies, I would think of things like Tyler's tends ideas tend to be a bit up in the clouds and are gargantuan, and I tend to be much more realistic and down to earth. I tend to be more of a people pleaser. Tyler's not that at all, which is a very good thing. That's um, a very masculine thing. Whether Tyler knows that or Carrie, not Carrie, but Sarah knows that. Again, that's a very masculine trait. Again, there's nothing bad about that. Being a being a people pleaser is what allows you to end up getting kind of messed over and stomped on. And the fact that you have a husband that's not a people pleaser and can be able to step in that role and say, "Hey, I'm not going to allow this to happen," is a very good thing to have. So kudos to that. Anyway, Tyler's not at all. Tyler was a lot louder, goofier, and much of the life of the party, while I'm much more to myself. There's balance and there's balances we bring to each other's lives, which is awesome. So I agree with that for the most part, and uh, definitely appreciate them for sharing that stuff. All right, so Cindy says, this is the same Cindy from the previous video. Cindy says, love, commitment, communication, companionship, and above all, being faithful. And so I then asked the question of, well, how much should he make? And she says, as long as my bills are paid, as long as the bills are being paid, it shouldn't matter. Money has never been a high on my list. So I said, if he makes no money, but he has all of the other attributes, would he still qualify? And she said no, in a very light way, but she just said no. To be all honest, because it's not fair to anyone to have to be the sole provider of the household. Both should be contributing to the household. So then I just asked, well, how much? So how much should he make, and what would you say the split would be? Would it be 50-50? Would it be 60-40? She said, I really don't know how much he should make. To be honest, I still live at home. I don't know my dad makes more money than my mom, but the bills always get paid. I know it might seem invasive, but I just basically was telling her that these might be some good questions that she should ask her parents since she is living with them. These are just good things to ask somebody of. Uh, these are good things to ask someone if you're actually trying to be married. Cindy is somebody that actually is trying to be married. She was trying to be married to her previous partner. It didn't work out, and now she's moved on. So this is why I'm asking her this again. I'm just following up on this based on kind of the conversation that we had on the last post. So then Chantel popped in. She says, "Yeah, popped in on this one. I think what you're asking is highly circumstantial. If one person is the sole provider financially to the household, then what is the other one doing? Are they in college? Are they home taking care of the kids? If so, etc. If so, then personally, I would be fine with being the sole financial provider. But if the other person is doing shit, we have a problem. I agree with Sydney that money isn't a high priority for what I look for in a partner. In a perfect world, sure, we would want to be split and everything 50-50. But we do not live in a perfect world. Currently, I make double what my boyfriend makes after considering each other's wages and personal bills, obligations prior to obligations prior to our relationship starting, such as credit card debts and stuff like that. Our household bills are not split 50-50. We split the bills off of what he can afford monthly without overdrafting his account. I keep saying him because I am fortunate to not have to stress about that much. The house is mine, so I pay the mortgage, the insurance. I also pay the bills that vary and can spike due to usage such as water, groceries, stuff like that. Okay, it's coming down and going. So I'm going to skip past that part. And the quarterly trash bills and blah 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 blah. Okay, we will reevaluate the setup as he is starting a new job and we'll be making more money. So he will be able to take on one more bill somewhere else. But that is that is what he works for us. We also we also kind of delegate certain household chores to make up for the differences. He knows that I detest doing laundry, so that's his job in the house. I do the general cleaning. We both do the dishes, and he's all the yard work. I feel like there are other ways to contribute to just financially. And I just basically, I said, thank you for answering the question. The question is talking more about marriage. Most of the comments I got said nothing about money, so I used an example to clarify. Don't mind me. I'm just talking about Kevin Samuels. I find the questions he asked and responses he get pretty enlightening. So I thought I'd ask a similar questions with people that I know to get a sense of what women really want out of marriage these days. I feel like folks will say one thing because of what is deemed acceptable these days versus saying what is the real truth. When I say the real truth, I'm saying their real truth. Everybody's truth is different. Everybody's truth perspectives are different. However, there are some truths that are just truths. Two plus two is four, regardless of what you think about it or feel about it. Okay, so we go into it a little bit more. She says, I feel you, and I want to, and I hope my current relationship results in marriage. Currently, she's not married. I guess that's what that means. I actually didn't really take that into. I don't know if I noticed that then, but I'm just kind of noticing that now. So again, she says, "I want to, and I hope my current relationship results in marriage. If that is the case, my views remain unchanged. I still feel money isn't the big end all to be all decision maker. Bills should be split among. Let me see. Anyways, bills should be split based on income and other factors, and that doesn't feel that there is more than one way to contribute to the household. Social contracts and norms are other bullshit. Everyone has a different situation to go on. And then I just basically, suggest that you watch some of the Kevin Samuels videos and sent her some links to some of the Kevin Samuels videos that kind of go in on this subject of marriage and what is and isn't wanted out of and stuff like that. All right. So that does it for actually this question here. So I'm going to give my opinion on this and kind of give you guys what I expect. So, as a real quick brief history, I've never technically been married. I was with a girl slash woman for a little bit over 10 years. Uh, Things didn't go the way she wanted things to go the way I wanted. She decided to step out on the relationship and get into a relationship with somebody else. I got cheated on. It is what it is. Um, so I'll just give you guys some context so you guys can at least have I guess, kind of a scenery, or I don't even know the correct wording for this, but at least have some um, foundation, I guess, to sit on to see where my answer comes from. Anyway, though, so the thing that I want out of a marriage is a lot of the things I could say was actually in my previous partner. Again, at the time, I just didn't believe in the system of marriage, that's because I just wasn't raised to be a person to marry. I was raised to be a person to be independent and stuff like that. Most of the people that I saw around me growing up, especially when it comes to my biological family, they weren't married or anything like that. But that's not an excuse. It is what it is. But anyway, though, to the actual answer from me, what I would want out of a marriage from um, my partner is loyalty, um, being a good mother, and being somebody that's inspirational. And when and I'll go into those things. So loyalty should kind of speak for itself. I want you to be loyal to me. Um, if I choose to marry you, if I choose to call myself, um, you know, choosing you to be my life partner until the day we die and stuff like that, I want you to be loyal to me. Okay, and I don't think that there's anything that should break that loyalty unless I break my commitment to you. Oops, that wasn't supposed to go that way. I don't know why that went that way. Uh, don't know why that happened. Anyway, I'll go down to that. Okay. I also spoke on inspiration. Um, and when I say inspiration, here we go. So when I say inspiration, inspiration just means somebody that really motivates you, and praises you. It's for a guy. I can't speak for all guys out there, but I know for plenty of guys and stuff like that. When we go out into the world, we're out here, and especially when we're out here in our masculine mind frame, we're out here in our aggressive nature, a confident nature, and getting things done. Getting out in the real world, having to deal with the real world problems, the BS and stuff like that. When we come home, especially if we're out here being the breadwinner and stuff like that for the family and everything like that, when we come home, what we want to come home to is somebody that is just pleasing to come home to. And what I mean is that, okay, when I come home, I don't want there to be a feeling of like, are you in your defense mode and ready to argue and ready to fight and stuff like that. When I come home, it should just be, hey, how was your day? Was your day good? Was it not good? What can I do, to make your day better and stuff like that? Because you home, because you out there providing for, you out there in the world providing for me and for our family. So what can I do to make your day and make your life better? That's what I just mean by being inspirational. So again, this is the type of things that I would want. I can't speak for all men, but this is what I would want. So, and I guess to kind of piggyback off of that, the things that I would expect to be able to provide would be financial security, protection, and being a good father. But I always want to be a good father because I'm always love my kids and everything like that. But the main things that I want to be able to provide is protection and stability and financial security and everything like that. Making sure that my house and everything is good to go. That's going to be my main thing. The way that I do that is, again, getting out here, making sure that I'm on my purpose as far as my career is concerned, making sure that I'm keeping myself educated to be able to advance myself in my career, keeping myself motivated, keeping myself on top of my career to be able to make more money. And again, that's how you provide and create a good family and create a good um, foundation for your kids and everything like that. As far as inside of the household, my thing is just to lead. And when I say lead, I'm not talking about coming here cracking a whip or anything like that. No, but just giving you a guidance, being able to say, okay, hey, you want to go out there. For example, I'll give you an example from my ex. Okay, so she used to work at a place called Safeway, right? And she was a deli clerk for a long time. And she used to come back and tell me, okay, I'm a deli clerk, but I'm doing all of this and that. I have a person, her manager or whatever, was having her do stuff like inventory and everything like that. And so what I did is I guided her. I told her, okay, well, if he's got you doing inventory and stuff like that, you need to tell them raise you up to at least an assistant manager level because you're doing assistant level man. You're doing assistant management work, but you're not getting paid for that. And so I coached her and guided her on how to do that. Does that make sense? I led her on how to do that, and she was able to follow me too. Then, at the same time, again, this is back when everything was all, good at working out and everything like that. I could tell her, okay, hey, I'm gonna be working until 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. This is what time I get off, but this provides us to be able to stay up here in Redmond. This provides us to be able to stay up here in North Seattle or wherever we were at and everything like that. Does that make sense? Anyway, this was a video with that. I was going to actually do another question, but I think I'm going to go ahead and save that for another day because what I kind of want to touch on this right here. I guess I'll go ahead and touch on it right now since we're here. So this was another question I asked. I guess that's a rephrase in the question from yesterday. This is because I'm looking for a different. I'm trying to elicit a different response from people. So I just asked them, what do you think your role is in marriage? And I'll go over here real quick. Um, Marriage is a partnership. Both parties must be team players. Uh, in every role, and chores. Um, Basically, she's saying marriage should be an equal partnership, and that's basically what the rest of them said too. They just said that they want to be an equal partnership. Molly said she wants to support her wife or husband. I don't know if that means she's bi or whatever. I don't know. To be there for them to help them grow as a person, also to grow with that person. My role in the marriage is to do what I vowed in marriage, which is I committed to take a lot of things. Um, I committed to take a lot of things that day. Taking the six of health. Okay. That's not actually getting into your role. Okay, so let me touch on this real quick because I like a lot of the answers that they get. I'm gonna say I don't want to say that I necessarily like them. I understand a lot of the answers that folks gave. When I say what is your role in marriage, and again I kind of touched on this before, so I said it's just a rephrasing of the question that I asked before. Um, when I say what is your role in marriage, I'm asking specifically that. What is your role? So when you guys say it's a 50-50 partnership, I understand that. Yes, it's 50-50. It's two people coming into one union. I understand that. But when I say what is your role, what is your role? So I actually made another post, which is more of an analogy. So I used to be a big gamer. I actually am still kind of a big gamer, but I was way more before. And I used to play a game called World of Warcraft. And World of Warcraft, there are three primary roles, and this is for most MMORPGs, which is what World of Warcraft is. But when I created this, I was thinking of that game. I just said MMORPGs. Anyways, the tank role, DPS role, and the healer role, and I outlined that here. The tank role, their primary role is to protect the group from damage by soaking damage and making sure that whatever threat focuses them. That's the tank's role. Tank's role is basically soak damage and make sure that whatever the threat is, it's focusing anybody else in the group. Party is, but it's focusing them because if they focus on the other people, they're going to kill them quickly. So that's their role. Do you understand that? That's their role. DPS's primary role is dealing consistent high level damage and making sure that whatever threat is killed ASAP while taking as little damage as possible by avoid dying. Again, the last thing you want to do as a DPS person or a damage dealer is die. Why? Because you're going to be dealing less damage. And if you're dealing less damage, then you're not going to be able to kill whatever the threat is in time. So again, your primary job in that role is to do consistent high level damage. You're the DPS. Now you can split that off into different categories and stuff like that, but we're just focusing on the primary thing, their biggest focus. Okay. The last role is the healer. And the healer's primary role is making sure the group members don't die. This is done by either through direct healing or removing damaging spells and cleansing and stuff like that to avoid people from dying. Now, again, this is their role. The tank in the MMORPG or whatever, the tank and the healer they have a very marriage type of relationship. That's why I use this because again, I think some people would be able to understand this a little bit better when I talk about roles of marriage and stuff like that. Now, I continue to say if all three are playing if all three of the people are in harmony and playing their role, they accomplish their overall goal. And their overall goal is to kill that boss so each one of those members could be able to get some fat loot. It is what it is. They're all trying to accomplish the same thing. They're just doing it in different ways. Does that make sense? Is what I'm trying to say becoming a little bit more clarifying? Hopefully it is. So, now, what I said is that usually males take on the tank role while females take on the healer role, and the DPS is a mix, but it leads more towards male. Why is that? I asked that question, but nobody answered this question. And I'm asking y'all that. Why do you guys think that is? Why do you guys think that in the games, and this is actually still seen even in newer games such as the games like League of Legends and stuff like that, where there is no real traditional tank role, but there definitely is a healer slash support role. Why is it that females usually take the healer slash support role, and males usually take that frontline slash in your face type of a role? Why is that? Why is it that we naturally gravitate to that? When in that game, nobody is forcing anybody to pick a particular role, but we naturally gravitate to that. Think about it for a second. Just think about that for a second. Then I also asked, what would happen if a DPS were to try to do a tank's job, or a tank was to try to do a DPS job? Do you think that would efficiently and effectively accomplish the end goal? I then asked, how can understanding the roles in an online game translate to understanding the dynamics of a successful, long-lasting marriage? Nobody answered this. For some reason, people skip right on past this. And I think that that's really interesting and telling. But again, it is what it is with that. For me, again, I've kind of explained it as I went through this on how I feel on this. To me, the reason why men tend to take up those tank roles and stuff like that is because that's how we're just naturally wired. We're naturally wired to be the tanks. We're naturally wired to be the person to get up in your face and take all the damage and stuff like that. We're naturally wired to be the protector. That's just what it is. We're naturally wired to be the protector and to take that damage. We're trying to hold this line for our family. That's one of the most manly, masculine, courageous thing that a man can do is to protect his family and ultimately, if he has to, die for his family. As far as the healer role slash support role, which again synergizes with the tanks very well. They have to. If a healer and tanks aren't on the same page, the whole group is out of array. It is what it is. Why do they take that role? Is it because it's easy? No. Being a healer isn't necessarily the easiest thing. It's not the hardest thing, but it's definitely not the easiest thing in the group. You see, being healers and stuff like that, they are usually much better at communication. And, well, I don't want to say that. They're much better at communication, but at the same time, they're better at not having to. I'm trying to say this in the best way possible. Here, I'll leave that up to you guys. Let me leave that up to you guys. Why do you guys think the females take the healer role and the support role overwhelmingly over males doing it? Even though when they come into the game, they have the choice to pick whatever role that they want to do. All right, so I'm gonna end the video off on that. Definitely want to thank you guys for listening. Like, rate, comment, subscribe. This is my first time using this program, so I'm still kind of getting used to it and everything like that. Hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better. Hopefully it's actually captured all this. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming to my page and watching. Hopefully you guys watched the whole video, and I will try to have another video posted within the next 2 days. Hopefully this piece gets here from my headset so I can actually do some real recording on my PC instead of using my phone. All right, thank you guys. Peace.